I walked into one of the last card shows of the year with $100 and a mission. Find incredible art, score massive deals, and achieve a trade to finally get my hands on a PSA 10. I spent a total of $102, but secured deals that saved me a lot in market value. I pulled off 2 incredible trade-ups and proved that the frugal strategy works. In this video, I'll show you every card that I bought, every dollar that I spent, and exactly how I traded singles for great collector's pieces. So can you truly dominate a card show on a budget? Well, let's find out together, because deal number 1 starts right now. Starting off with the first deal of the weekend, I scored myself a Lapras and a Tornadus and Thundurus promo, all for $15. Now the market value for this is $13.94, which means I paid just about market for these. And to be honest, this has to be one of the cleanest Laprases that I've seen from the Galarian Gallery in person. Every time I see one of these cards, it's horrifically off-centered, and it's nothing that I would ever be willing to send to get graded, but this is one of the best copies that I've ever seen. Moving on to deal number 2, I spent a lot of time looking through binders after binders after binders, and I came across this Dusknoir, this Zamazenta, and this Riolu. In total, I paid $10 cash for this, and the market value is $10.19. And so I was able to grab 3 cards with amazing artwork right at market value, and it's showing right off the bat that my strategy is working. Moving on to deal number 3. Some of these cards you'll notice and recognize from the videos that I posted recently. And we have the Larvesta illustration rare from Surging Sparks, the Meltan illustration rare, and the 151 Mime illustration rare. Now, in total, I paid $16 for these 3 cards, and the total value of market at that exact time was $14.41. I paid slightly over market for these cards, but to be honest, these 3 cards are something I've wanted to add to my collection for a very long time. After that, the momentum did not stop. I walk over to a booth with wonderful individuals right there behind the tables. Right down at Spiel's Deals, I saw everything on my shopping list. I could not believe it. So I walked up to this amazing booth and walked away with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 amazing cards that were all on my list. So we have the Sandile illustration rare, the Crustal illustration rare, the Bellybolt illustration rare. We have the Trainer Gallery Brazen and Milotic. We have the Galarian Gallery Swablu, and this promo is one of the best promos from the Sword and Shield era. It is the Galarian Articuno. If you saw my 10 promo cards under $10, this was on that list, and this was the cleanest copy that I found in that entire room. Now, all 7 of these cards I was able to acquire for $25 cash. These guys were amazing to work with. They had exactly what I was looking for, and I couldn't be happier with my purchases, and I can't wait to go see them again in January. Moving on to deal number 5, I was hunting for these cards, but I only wanted to pull the trigger if I had found good enough copies for my collection. I walked up and I found the Ens Reshiram illustration rare and the Articuno illustration rare, 2 magnificent pieces of artwork that look even better side by side. Now the sticker price for both of these, as you can see, was $34, and after putting the moves on a fellow collector, I was able to talk him down to $30 and walked away with a wonderful deal for 2 cards that I am so incredibly happy to own. For deal number 6, I was able to walk up to the stand where 2 brothers had a bunch of binders, and after looking through more and more of their stuff, I came across this Snover illustration rare and the Galarian Gallery Duskull, and out of wanting to be frugal, I asked them if they would do $6 for the 2 of them. Sticker price was $7, and when I'm doing a challenge like this, every dollar matters. Now this is a great haul, but believe it or not, the biggest moves of the day didn't even require cash. If you want to see the trades that I made for my personal collection as well, stick around for the bonus footage at the end. Alright, so that's the budget breakdown. We spent $102, but we got massive value for our money. If you appreciate the time and strategy that goes into collecting great cards without overspending, please take a second right now and hit the like button. And if you too want to build your dream collection without breaking the bank, go ahead and toss me a subscribe. We're about to jump into the big trades of the day. Now on to the bonus footage. Now, staying true to myself, I always love a good gamble. So when I saw this guy offering $20 to spin this wheel and some of the prizes were up to a $200 slab, I had to take my chances. And I spin and I land on a $10 card for free. Well, you win some, you lose some, and I walked away with this Florgato illustration rare from Paldea Evolved, a card that I very much wanted part of my collection, but I sadly had to pay $20 to get it this time. Next, I wanted the Ends Reshiram stamped promo. Now, I didn't necessarily want to pay for it, so I brought some of the cards in my collection that I didn't want anymore. I had recently pulled the SIR from White Flare of Whimsicott, so I brought it, willing to trade it for something like this. This is a sealed promo of the Ends Reshiram with a stamp on it. As you know, stamps and it being sealed increases the value by a good margin. The SIR of Whimsicott at the time that I was at the show was going for $21. So I was able to do a straight up trade and get this Ends Reshiram promo still sealed for my collection. Now I have every version of this card. I have it in Japanese, I have it in English, I have the illustration rare, and I have the stamp promo. If you can't tell, I'm a big fan of this artwork. And last but not least, the trade that got me my first graded card ever. I was talking to a guy and talking about the Enzorua promo and how much I liked the card. He pulls from behind the counter, that's not even in his display, a PSA 10 Enzorua. And I traded a hyper rare Snorlax from Chilling Reign that I pulled almost a year and a half ago. The market value for that Snorlax was $97. The market value for this slab was $80. At 80% trade-in, we were neck and neck, and we just did a straight trade. I didn't want that hyper rare Snorlax because it was horribly off-centered, and every time I looked at it, it was a stab to the heart that I had pulled something so amazing that I couldn't put in a slab. So with this card that I truly wanted in a PSA 10, I now have something preserved forever that'll be mine forever that I'm truly happy to look at. And that officially wraps up our $100 card show challenge. We spent $102, walked away with over $130 in market value, a stack of aesthetically beautiful singles, and our first PSA 10 graded card. The Frugal focus strategy works, and it proves you don't need a massive budget or massive luck to absolutely crush it at a card show. If you enjoyed seeing the deals, the hauls, the trades, be sure to join the Ketchum TCG community right now. I post new videos as often as I can, dedicated to helping you find amazing cards and build a collection that makes sense for your budget. Click the video on your screen right now to see my video on the most affordable promos that you can find today, and I'll see you there.